Hello amigos, welcome to this first episode. Before we begin, I want to thank you all who are watching this. We are just starting this thing, so do not forget please to subscribe, click the bell button, tell your friends, and all that sharing stuff. And also, we are no experts on this YouTube video thing, so if you have any comments, observations, critics, questions, or whatever, please share it down here. So well, finally, welcome to this first episode, and now let's get this thing rolling. Hello amigos, welcome to this new video show where we're gonna be talking about testing and specifically about performance. Yeah, about performance testing. It's me, your amigo, Leandro, aka Señor Performo, and I want to welcome you to our first episode of this new show. And for this first episode, I thought what would be a good starting point for this video series that we're going to be doing, and I thought that it would be better to describe first what is performance testing. But those are two words that compose a concept. First, let's try to define them. Testing is the act of verification or validation of something, and performance is the response, how good or how bad something is being done, the performance of something. In these videos we're going to be talking about software, so the performance of software, how good or how fast is the software doing things. So performance testing is the validation and verification of how good or fast our system is doing things. I want something to be clear here. It is not load testing. It is not slamming and punching the system, automating until it bleeds or it gets some results. Performance testing is the act of validation and verification of how good or fast a system behaves or reacts to something. No load. Load testing, we're going to talk about that later. Okay, so now let's define what is performance testing. Performance testing, as I mentioned earlier, has to do with verification and validation of how good and fast. So for these validations and verifications, we're going to put the definition of performance testing being composed of three pieces. Three pieces are what we are going to be doing in general in performance testing. First, validate and verify time, response time. That is the first component of performance testing, that we're going to be checking how fast something reacts to actions. How good tends to be how fast. If it doesn't even respond, it's really bad. The second part of performance testing is going to be the validation and verification of the impact of the actions on the pieces of our software solution, which can be hardware, software, CPU, RAM, databases, code. How are the metrics of these pieces impacted when we are doing something in the system? That is the second component that we are going to be measuring and validating. The third component is not so much something of validation and verification, but is the circumstance. It's going to be the situation where and when we are going to be measuring the performance, validating and verifying those other two components. These situations can be varied. Others know them as scenarios. These scenarios will define the circumstances where we are going to be measuring the impact on our solution. They are not always load, which of course load is part of the performance testing family, but that is one of the scenarios. We can measure the impact under a specific load, multiple users. But we can also measure what is the behavior of our solution when only one user is interacting with it. That is no load, and we can do that manually. We can do that when no one is using the system. When the system is idle, if no one is using it, we want to see how it is behaving. That is a valid circumstance when we want to measure the performance of the solution. Not everything is load. Again, we can measure when just system and system are speaking together. So there you have it, amigos. Those three components are the ones that define what is performance testing, what is the trait that I'm going to be explaining to you on this channel, this video series that we're starting right now. Let's see how do they go. So as a recap, performance is how good something is done. Testing is validation and verification. It is comprised of three things: time, response time, how fast things are done, impact on the pieces of our solution, and specific circumstances or scenarios. One at a time. We should not test many scenarios at the same time because it will be complicated. So, thank you again for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this ongoing series that I'm just starting to bring into the internet. But this is going to be my best effort to give you some explanations of what is a performance testing. So, thank you very much for joining us. Gracias and adiós.